Today's video I'm a little nervous about, to be honest, and I'm hoping my battery holds up through this because I think it's about to go dead. But today I'm going to be making my falling in love / my experience. I don't know, I like doing experience videos. I've done several. So yeah, I like doing these sit down talking videos with you guys, and I mainly just wanted to make this video because my experience is a little bit different from the average couple falling in love. Mine is a little bit more complicated and a little bit different, and I wanted to make this to, if anybody out there that is just experiencing the same thing that I went through, or experiencing a little bit of trouble, or not really sure what to do. Hopefully this video can help you guys, and you guys are probably thinking, wow, what the hell kind of video is this? What is she making, or what is she talking about? What kind of experience is she going to tell us about? It's a little bit different than the average people falling in love. Mine is so complicating story, and I'm just going to go ahead and get into this. So I'm not rambling forever, and yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into this video right now. So it all started back in 2009 when I first started working. Well, it's not exactly when it happened, but I'm just going to take you guys back in time. So please just bear with me with this whole, hopefully I'm not going to ramble, and hopefully I can tell you guys everything I want to tell you. Hopefully I can do that. So let's go back in 2009. I started working at my first job, which you guys know I worked at Dollar General for like 4 years. And so I got my job there, and the first time I met my husband was there at Dollar General, which is, to most people, probably a little bit like confusing. Like, whoa, what do you mean you met your husband at Dollar General? Yes, I met my husband for the first time at Dollar General for my interview. He interviewed me at my job. So, so I was very intimidated the first time I met him because he's like six something foot tall. He's very tall, and he's kind of built bigger up top, and just bigger built. So I was like really intimidated by him and really nervous for my interview, but he hired me, and after I was on the cashier for a while, I got kind of bumped into doing the truck, which was like putting stuff out early in the morning, and just kind of experiencing a little bit more than just the cash register itself, which I've made work experience videos about this if you guys are interested in watching those. I got to do a little bit more stuff then, and I just kind of become good friends with the people that I worked with, and I also become very good friends with my husband. Yeah, my husband was just somebody that I could go to for advice about anything, and as time went on we become very good friends, and he was just somebody that I could go to for advice. And I'm not a very good advice giver, or I'm just not a very good public speaker. As if you guys can know, in videos I don't have the best way of explaining things. I have a hard time explaining things, so I'm having a really hard time explaining this video already. But anyways, I went to him for advice all the time because sometimes I'm in positions where I just I know what's right and wrong, and I know, normally I'm a pretty level-headed person and I know what to do, but sometimes I just need to talk to people, and it makes me feel better. Like, people that I can trust, and he was somebody that I could go to and that I could trust, and that I knew that was going to give me the straight answer no matter what, because it's just the type of person that he is. So I would go to him, and I'd go to a few other coworkers that I were friends with that I could talk to if I needed somebody to talk to. We were just friends. All of us were really good friends, and I think it's really rare to find that in a work environment where everybody gets along. And I mean, not everybody always got along, but for the most part I felt like we were a family at my workplace, and I was very happy there, and I was very happy with the people that I was around all the time, and it overall just made my job very easier than what it actually was, like the physical part and all that. It made it like going to work wasn't as bad as, you know, as if you went to a place where you hated everybody. It wasn't like that. I really enjoyed everybody that I worked with. So anyways, I become really good friends with my boss, my husband, and there ended up being, I ended up working a lot of the same shifts as him, and the assistant manager that was the assistant manager at the time kind of was the person that kind of started a rumor, and she basically said that me and the boss were doing it or were together. And this was before we actually were together. So I was very furious and just very appalled and just kind of like, whoa, like, where's this even coming from? Well, and you know, the reasoning behind it was, well, you always work together and you're always, I guess just because we got along really well, like we were considered doing it or whatever. And so I was just really mad about that, and then eventually she ended up basically quitting, I think is how that ended up. But anyways, so then they were looking for someone new to take her position, and since I'd done a really good job and was a very good, reliable person and just good at what I did, is what my husband said, or my boss. I don't know if I should be referring to him right now in this video as my husband or my boss, because I guess I should just say my boss, but you guys, it was my husband now. This is really confusing, so yeah, it's a little weird. So yeah, anyways, I got promoted to assistant manager, and me and my husband were not together, and that's another reason why I'm making this video, is for people who live in my town deserve to know exactly what was going on, because at the time before I left my job, I was said that the only reason why I got my job was because I was doing the boss, and that is not true at all. So I want to make that out also to, if anybody that lives in my town is watching this, I want you guys to know the truth. Not that it really matters, because I don't care what anybody thinks. I know what really happened, and that's all that matters, but I just feel like I need to address that. Like, that's not the reason why I got promoted to assistant manager. I worked my ass off in that store to get to where I was, and it had nothing to do with me doing the boss, but people think that's the only reason why I got that job, and it's like, you don't know anything. And if you want to know, go into the store to this day, and you will know that we worked our ass off. So anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about that. But got a little hefty about that, yeah, because it just makes me mad when people don't know what really happened. Anyways, back to where I was, assistant manager for a while. Everything was going wonderful at my job, and as time grew on, I think I kind of developed a crush on my boss, which was kind of weird, but he also was feeling the same way about me, I think, longer than what I was about him. Because at first I was just kind of like, you know, like, he's so much older than me, and he's just just so much older than me, and I just never ever really thought about anything like that. So I just kind of developed a crush after a while, because I just realized that he was so easy to talk to, and I enjoyed our conversations that we would talk to about work, or we would have at work, and just, you know, I was thinking in my head, like, man, he'd be really cool to hang out with, because I just thought he was very cool. For, you know, he was a lot older than me, but he was somebody that I could, like, just felt like he was the same age as me, because we just shared a lot of the same interests, and we were interested in the same things, and we just had so much in common, and it was just really strange. So then I started developing a crush, and anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead, and I'm not gonna tell you guys full details on anything, like, too detailed, but I want to try to tell you guys as much as I can, because I want you guys to be in my life since I'm making videos. I want you guys to know a little bit more, and I want to also help somebody, because this was a really difficult time in my life, and I want to just tell you guys about it. So I might have to make two separate videos, because this one's already way too long. So if you guys understand that, I'll make 2 different videos. This might just be part 1. It's just really hard. I want to tell you guys in full detail about what I can tell you about that happened. And yeah, so back to where I was at my job. So eventually me and the boss hooked up, and we were seeing each other, obviously. And it started out as it was very exciting. It was very exciting for me, because I've never been in a relationship with anyone before for a very long period of time. Like, I had some relationships in high school, but they never lasted, and they were just kind of like, you know, I never really felt the way I felt about my husband. So, anyways, we started seeing each other, and then we started seeing each other outside of work, which got even more complicated, and it was, oh my gosh. If I can just tell you guys what I had to do, you guys would probably think I was crazy. And you guys might even already start thinking like, wow, she's already breaking the rule. Yes, I was breaking the rule. We were breaking the rule at our job, which we no longer work there. So I feel like it's okay for me to come out about it now. So yes, we were seeing each other, working at the same store that you're not allowed to date coworkers at. But we were. And we were doing this for some time. And anyways, so we started seeing each other outside of work, like, for a while, and we would go to this place where we'd always meet up, and we'd hang out for, like, you know, not very long. My husband was still kind of tied up with his ex-wife, which was at the time he was still married to, but their relationship was over. He let me know that in advance that their relationship was over, but he was still married to her. So I had like a lot of stuff going on in my head, like, okay, this is wrong, I can't do this, I can't be in this situation to date somebody that, or to see somebody that is still married to somebody. Like, that just scared me to death, and just really overall I felt a lot of just like, did not know what to do. So for the longest time before we started seeing each other, I really had to make up. I just had a lot of doubt, because I was just like, okay, I can't do this, like, you know. And there was a lot of stuff going on at the time. The reason why he didn't divorce right away, there was a lot of stuff going on with that, because he does have 2 kids, and he was in a position to where he just couldn't straight up do that quite yet, but he made it out to me that their relationship was over. So I trusted him, and I believed him, because just things that we would talk about. Like, I just knew that, you know, I think he was seeking for someone else to, and, you know, he went through a really hard time at this time in his life, and I felt like I was going through a hard time, because I was just kind of depressed all the time. And I can make a whole separate video on depression if you guys want, because I feel like I was depressed about a lot of things before we got together. I would drink a lot. I did drink alcohol a lot, more than the average person probably should, and I would drink alcohol in ways that my family didn't really approve of or understand what I was doing, but I can make a whole separate video on that, and I'm rambling again. So yes, anyways, back to where we were seeing each other. And it just got to the point to where we would ride around in vehicles, and I would have to lay down so nobody saw us. And if that isn't crazy enough, I can tell you that that is the worst experience for me, to know that I'm with my boyfriend, but I can't sit up in the car because nobody can see us, because we got to keep our job. Because at the time, you know, one of us, we just both had the same job, and I really wish if I could go back in time, I'd do things a lot differently. I would have left that job and got a different job so we could, you know, make it happen, but then it was just so complicated as it was. But you guys kind of see where I'm going with this. It's just a really complicated story of how we fell in love and met. So anyways, I was pretty much in love with him from this time that we were seeing each other, ducking down in the car so no one could see us, so we don't lose our jobs. And this continued for a very long time because we worked at the same job. So anyways, my husband ended up getting a divorce, and we moved into our first house together, which was at my last house, and we still worked at the same damn job. So we still had to do the same damn shit. Yeah, we lived in a house together, but I still had to duck down in the vehicle. If we ever went anywhere, we had to go far, far away if we wanted to have like a normal date, so nobody in our town would see us together, so we could keep our job. This is so crazy. Like, right? You guys are probably thinking, what the hell is that? Yes, we were never able to go out in public together because we had the same damn job. And it was so hard. It was the hardest thing. Thinking back now, it's the hardest thing that I had to do in my life. And yeah, I'm going to end this off as part 1 because the video is really long. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get, this is all for part 1, so stay tuned for part 2, and I will let you guys, so we are now at my last previous house, still at the same job, and I will get back to you guys in part 2. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in part 2.